Back at Citizens Bank Park, home opener 2004. Lineup cards are being handed out at home plate by the managers Larry Boa and Dave Miley for the Cincinnati Reds. Jerry Crawford will have the plate today, only fittingly. Jerry Crawford calling the balls and strikes. Mike Everett at first. Mark Wagner at second, and Angel Hernandez umpiring at third. Citizens Bank Park, 329 down the left field line, juts out to 369 to the power alley. Furthest most point is the angle just to the left of straightaway center field at 409. Dead center field is 401. Right field line is 330. Right center is 369.
And they've got the railings right there above the fences. It looks like the railings are set back a little bit behind the fence, but got to wonder if at some point in time a ball that maybe hits off of that railing and comes back into the field of play, if there's going to be some, I guess, discretion on the part of the umpires of whether it went out or not, and also people reaching over those stands there, those the fence there, if that could create a problem. There's oftentimes a yellow line across there, but I guess it has to go into the seats if it hits off of that screen. I don't know if it's a home run or not for sure.
Randy Wolf has completed his warm-up tosses, and he is coming on, ready to pitch the home opener. He is really excited about pitching this home opener. It's quite an honor.
There's only one of them.
Jim Bunning pitched the home opener at Veterans Stadium. Randy Wolf here at Citizens Bank Park. Paul Wilson, right-hander, will be going for the Cincinnati Reds. He's already 1-0. He beat the Cubs 3-1, going 7 shutout innings at Cincinnati in his first start. We are going to start pretty much on time here on this rainy, cold afternoon. The Reds will also be in here on an off day tomorrow, and Reds will be here on Wednesday night and Thursday as a Citizens Bank Business Person Special at 1:05. And this one being sold out. There are tickets available for Wednesday night and Thursday afternoon's game. So you want to come out and enjoy the amenities here at Citizens Bank Park. 49 degrees.
Some light rain falling right now, and it's, you know, at this point, there's no question they'll try and play through this. Tomorrow's forecast actually not as good as today's. Now, this is not really that bad of a climate to pitch in. Randy Wolf said he'd much rather pitch in the weather like it was in Pittsburgh and like it is here today than pitch in the way it was in Florida, the heat and humidity. He said he'd much rather pitch in the cold.
Seems to be somewhat of a pitcher's advantage when it's cold. If hitters get stunned swinging the bat and fouling off pitches, sort of thing.
Well, that's Tommy talked about that with his broken finger. He said it doesn't bother him at all swinging. He said maybe when it's cold, a little ball up the end of the bat, he said kind of give you a little vibration, but he says it'll do that no matter what kind of weather it is if you don't hit it on a good part of the bat.
And the Phillies have taken the field for the 2004 home opener. Let's check the starting lineup for Dave Miley's Cincinnati Reds. D'Angelo Jimenez, the second baseman, leads it off for Cincinnati. Veteran Barry Larkin, shortstop, will bat second. Ken Griffey Jr. in center field is third. Austin Kearns, right field, batting fourth. Sean Casey at first base hits fifth. Adam Dunn, right field, batting sixth. Jason LaRue, the catcher, hits seventh. Ryan Friedel, the third baseman, bats eighth. Paul Wilson pitching, getting ninth. That lineup is facing Randy Wolf.
Randy Wolf coming off a start where he had a no decision, went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 4 runs, but only 3 earned. He threw the ball pretty well, I thought, in that game. Phillies offense has been struggling in this early going, the first 6 games, but the starting pitching has really been very good. Southwest Airlines scouting report on Randy Wolf. He's got to neutralize the lefties, which he usually does, and they got some power hitting lefties. He needs to have command of his off-speed stuff, and he had that pretty much in his first start. But the one thing he wants to try and do is avoid the deep counts, the long counts, and trying to get those hitters out in the first 3 pitches. Key State's Chrysler Jeep keys to the game. And that will be feed off the excitement. There is a lot of excitement. You have to control your emotions, but actually you kind of let that crowd help you with your emotions. You make it work for you. The other thing is to get Paul Wilson early. Get to him early. Got a high earned run average in first innings of games last year. And once he settles in, he's much better.
Randy Wolf has good career numbers against Cincinnati. Lifetime, he is 5-1 against the Reds with a career ERA of 3.34.
Last year, 3-0 against him in 4 starts with the better ERA than that at 3.12.
Second baseman D'Angelo Jimenez leads it off. He's a switch hitter.
Jerry Crawford goes out to tell Randy Wolf it's okay to blow on his hand, but you can't be sticking your fingers in your mouth.
So Wolf ready for the first official pitch at Citizens Bank Park. And it's a strike.
You see all the flash bulbs going off from the cameras. Everybody wants a picture of that very first pitch.
And they're retiring that ball, too, the first pitch.
Who gets it?
And that's a good question.
Randy Wolf, Larry Boa, Jerry Crawford.
And Wolfie jumps in front of D'Angelo Jimenez. No balls and 2 strikes.
Jimenez has been on base in every one of the Reds' 6 games. He's walked in each one of them.
Hitting 300 in the early going. A little bit high. One ball and 2 strikes.
Last year, Jimenez hit 290. But only 256 right-handed versus 305 left-handed.
That's a fair ball and a base hit. It's interfered with by a fan. Ooh, that's...
Mike Everett down the first baseline. Umpire throws his hands up. It's an automatic double. It's fan interference. Randy Wolf got ahead, left the fastball up and out over the plate. Jimenez just went with it. Second double of the season for him.
He'll go down in the books as picking up the first hit in official league play at Citizens Bank Park.
He did. He doesn't really inside out that ball. He just kind of protecting the plate and goes with the pitch away from him and just inside the line. You can see the fan reach over the fence down there, and first base umpire Mike Everett throws his hands up in the air.
And here is Barry Larkin, 39 years young, 11-time All-Star. Just 2 for 17 in the early going. He'll try to hit the ball on the right side, which he does to move the runner up. Polanco throws him out, but Larkin gets his job done. Moves that runner to third base. Well, with 1 out, it'll bring up Ken Griffey Jr.
Griffey's off to a pretty good start this year. Though he missed opening day with hamstring problem, but he's played in the other 5 games since.
Hitting .333 with a couple of homers. 8-time All-Star.
One of the reasons the Reds are off to a 4-2 start, 7 home runs, but that ERA of 2.50 and the bullpen has been outstanding for them. They expected their bullpen to be good, and they said it's even better than they expected.
And 226 average, not very high, but they have hit their share of home runs, 7 of them. 1 strike to Ken Griffey Jr. He'll be reaching a milestone this year. Probably he has 483 career home runs.
22nd all-time in baseball.
How's it back and out of play?
Griffey Jr. hit the first home run at Great American Ballpark last year when they opened that.
0-2 the count to Ken Griffey Jr. 0 away, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think you can see on the expression on Randy Wolf's face a deep breath, and there is a lot of adrenaline out there. Trying to just settle himself down, settle himself in.
Ooh, wild pitch is going to score the first run of the game. D'Angelo Jimenez comes on to score on the wild pitch.
Like Randy Wolf really tried to snap off a curveball, but bounces it well in front of the plate. Lieberthal shifts over there, but that's a tough pitch to block.
So the Reds are on the board here in the first inning, 1-0. Wolf will clean the mud from his spikes. Jerry Crawford is going to go out. So D'Angelo Jimenez, the first hit officially at Citizens Bank Park, and the first run scored.
And Jerry Crawford's going to call the ground crew out, I think. Try and get him to get some diamond dry on the mound. Biggest problem out there on the mound for a pitcher when it's a wet day like this is you walk around on the grass. That's when your spikes get all wet. Then you get up on the dirt. Even if the dirt's fairly dry because your shoes are wet, that dirt will start to cake on the spikes. Phillies struggled tremendously on offense on this road trip, 1-5, and one of the reasons that 164 average with runners in scoring position. 52 men left on base.
His overall team batting average is the lowest among National League teams at .225.
Actually, I think Montreal's lower, aren't they?
I think.
Oh, Cincinnati's just ahead of the Titans.
Cincinnati at .226 is just ahead of the Phillies. Let's check and see. Yeah, Montreal is lower. You're exactly right. Montreal is hitting under the Mendoza line.
That's not good.
198. Go back to September 28th, the last game at Veterans Stadium. Aerial view of the vet.
And you look at that, and it just looks like it just envelops Citizens Bank Park. A lot of construction being done still at that time. And today you look at it. Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Pictures provided by CBS 3 Chopper. Thanks to CBS 3. And now the diamond dry has been put on the mound. We're set to resume play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ken Griffey Jr. Lays off the high pitch. It is a full count to Griffey.
Randy Wolf last year seemed to pitch on a lot of rainy days. He was a scheduled pitcher in a few rainouts. Seems like he was just a bad weather pitcher.
And his first strikeout of the game will come at the hands of Ken Griffey Jr. For out number 2, it'll bring up Austin Kearns. Kearns is off to a slow start, 4 for 23.
Randy Wolf, after a high fastball that Griffey started to go after, Wolfie comes back with the fastball middle of the plate, but just throws it right by him.
1 strike to Kearns. Kearns' lifetime against Wolf 0 for 5. And he struck him out 3 of his 5 at bats. Good off-speed pitch, had him well out in front.
Kearns struggled against left-handers last year. Didn't play it as much as he'd like. He was shut down last year in August with shoulder surgery, so he's still trying to fight his way back from that.
Got him. So the wild pitch cost Wolf a run. Otherwise, he would not have given up that run. The back-to-back bats at Griffey and Kearns. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, none left after 1/2. Reds 1. Phil's coming to bat. Reds got a run in the top of the first. Larry Bowa's starting lineup for the Phils. They bat in the bottom half. Marlon Byrd center field leads off. Placido Polanco at second base bats second. Bobby Abreu right field hitting third. Jim Thome first base bats fourth. Pat Burrell left field hitting fifth. Mike Lieberthal catching batting sixth. Jimmy Rollins shortstop hit seventh. David Bell third base batting eighth. Randy Wolf the pitcher hits ninth. That lineup is facing Paul Wilson.
Paul Wilson had a good start. His first assignment of the season, beat the Cubs 7 innings, gave up only 4 hits and no runs with a walk and 6 strikeouts. Threw the ball very well. Southwest Airlines scouting report, he doesn't overpower the hitters. He used to. He doesn't anymore after a few arm surgeries. Good control and good command. He's got an improved changeup. He's mostly going to be 86 to 89 with this fastball. A kind of a slurve type slider.
Marlon Byrd the first one to face him, hitting at .227. Wilson has missed parts or all of the last 3 seasons with shoulder and elbow problems. He was originally a first-round draft pick of the Mets in the '94 draft. First player selected in that draft out of Florida State. Ground ball back up. Jimenez throws out Marlon Byrd, 1 down.
Balls on the ground here are not going to get through real easily. It's a thick grass, and they will eat up ground balls.
The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant today is Joe O'Connor of Rockledge, Pennsylvania. If the Phillies hit a home run in the game, Joe will win $400 to enter the McDonald's home run jackpot. Visit your participating McDonald's for an entry form. Placido Polanco is hitting at .292. One strike to Placido.
Talking to Paul McCarthy before the game, and both of us saw Paul Wilson in Double-A, the Eastern League, and both of us said this guy was a can't miss.
First player selected in the '94 draft out of Florida State, so
he was throwing 95, 96, 97 miles an hour at that time. Now he's in the high 80s just because of those arm surgeries, but he's learned how to pitch, and a lot of credit goes to that man there, their pitching coach, Don Gullett.
Oh, where's he at?
High towering fly into left field. Adam Dunn waits for it, puts it away. And that's 2 down. It'll bring up Bobby Abreu.
Wilson, as we talked about getting him early, got earned run average in the first inning versus after that. Once he settles down, he settles in, and he can be a tough customer. As I said, not overpowering, but he knows how to pitch.
Bobby Abreu off to a slow start. He is 2 for 22.
Larry Bowa juggled the lineup today after having Bobby in the 5th spot before.
He's got the left-handers, Abreu and Thome hitting back-to-back with Burrow hitting 5th. Well hit to left field. Out of here. Home run, Bobby Abreu. And the Phillies have quickly tied this game and won.
I guess there's no question Bobby Abreu loves hitting that number 3 spot better than the number 5, at least this year. He has been struggling, and 20 home runs last year for Bobby. He's been out taking extra batting practice, trying to work on getting his swing back. Certainly had it back in that at bat.
So the first official home run at Citizens Bank Park off the bat of Bobby Abreu. Here's the guy at the plate that hit the first home run at Citizens Bank Park. It was against Cleveland in an exhibition game. So it didn't count, but what a bowl it was at the second deck in right field. Jim Thome.
So far, last couple teams the Phillies have faced have not put on as big a shift on Thome as they did last year.
Cut at it, fouled it back. 2 balls and a strike to Thome.
You see Larkin on the shortstop side of second base. Last year, most of the teams had their shortstop and second baseman on the right side of the infield. Third baseman was usually at straightaway shortstop.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Thome has faced Wilson more than any other Philly hitter. He's faced him 11 times. He has 3 hits off Wilson. 2 of them home runs. Line smash to right. That'll be a hit. Thome on his way to second base. Burns throw late. Double Jim Thome.
Boy, that's something exciting to see. It's his offense coming to life. Fourth double for Thome. Paul Wilson threw a fastball by him. The pitch before a little more in than that. This one is a little more out over the plate. Thome gets those arms extended and he digs into second base. We said Kearns ended last season with shoulder surgery. Well, he's not throwing as good as he has in the past. He's still trying to get that arm strength back.
Here is Pat Burrell, and he smashes the ball to center field, flagged by Ken Griffey. Whipped by Burrell, but caught by Griffey, and that'll be it for the Phils. They quickly tie this game on Abreu's home run. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. After 1, it's the Phils 1 and the Cincinnati Reds 1. Well, after 1 inning, we are tied at 1-1 here at Citizens Bank Park in the official 2004 opening. And leading off for the Reds will be Sean Casey. Casey off to a good start, hitting .455. Well, from what you've seen of this yard so far in the 2 games against Cleveland and this one, you say it's going to be a hitter's park.
No question. Unless the winds do something to change it.
1 ball and 1 strike to Casey.
Bobby Abreu with the first home run here, first official home run at Citizens Bank Park.
Line drive right at J-Roll. That would really sunk on him, but J-Roll stayed with it. Casey's out on a liner. Jimmy Rollins 1 down. It'll bring up Adam Dunn. Dunn is hitting .333, but 4 of his 5 hits have been home runs, or rather 4 of his 6 hits have been home runs.
All solo shots. Well, how about every single one of them has been over 400 feet? The big guy, he can hit some tape measure shots.
Of course, with Bobby Abreu's home run, Joe O'Connor of Rockledge, Pennsylvania, won $400 courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Bobby tips his hat to him.
Yeah. With his brand new hairdo. I guess after that at bat for Bobby Abreu, that hairdo will stay for a while.
That'll stay for a while.
1-2 the count here to Adam Dunn. His 4 homers tied for the league lead. The Cardinals have 2 players with 4 home runs already.
Adam Dunn gives Chris Chambliss a lot of credit for his offense. And one thing with Chambliss, a lot of the coaches that Dunn had in the past have really tried to change a lot of things he's done. Chambliss just, gives him little tidbits of advice here and there. He doesn't try and overcoach, and Adam Dunn has taken to him.
Just missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Albert Pujols and Scott Rowland each have 4 home runs for the St. Louis Cardinals to tie for the league lead.
I think they both had two home run games, didn't they?
Maybe so. Yeah. Ooh, that's well hit. Marlon Byrd on his horse, won't get it. 1 hopping over the fence for a ground rule double.
Well, Marlon Byrd got a good jump on it. The ball just kept going and carrying, and right out there between the 401 dead center and the angle. See, Adam Dunn kind of shifts his weight forward a little bit, kept those hands back, and he's just flat strong.
Brings on catcher Jason LaRue. LaRue is 0 for 14 this year. Hopes to keep that collar on him. Pitches low, 1 ball and no strikes. At .230 last year with 16 home runs. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Fastball on the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike to LaRue. Down at second base with 1 out, 1-1 game here in the second inning. Ooh, just missed. 3 balls and a strike.
I don't know if Jerry Crawford was flinching to get out of the way of that. Oh, I guess he wasn't. He was close. Or maybe he was flinching like he was going to call it a strike.
He lost him. Puts 2 men on base with 1 out for Ryan Friel. This copyright telecast is presented by authority. The Phillies may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. Any kinds of descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Phillies. Friel hitting at .273. Spent his time with Louisville and the Reds last year. A ball and 1 strike to Ryan Friel. Passing it up there, the breaking ball, 2 balls and a strike.
Randy Wolf has not had real good command this inning. Talked about trying to keep away from deep counts.
Kerrigan looking on. Line drive, base hit, center field. Marlon Bird's got a shot at the runner at the plate, but the throw is late. Score.